All right, let's get into the two big fights at UFC 100. Number one, Alves and GSP. I don't know, the more I've been thinking about this, am I wrong for thinking, hey, one guy's got one plan of attack, the other guy has lots of ways to win. GSP should be a heavy favorite, and if he gets to the ground, he should take care of it. But am I missing something on Alves?
No, I don't think you are. I think he's very explosive, he's very, very strong. He brings a great Thai background into this fight, and he manages to get guys there and trap them and tie up with them and land those powerful blows. I mean, he doesn't look like a 170-pounder walking in a lot of times, but George is so dynamic. He's long. He uses angles and footwork very well, and he, like you said, he has a lot of different ways that he can win and take this fight to a lot of different places, whereas I see Alves only really having that one option. If he can clinch with him and tie him up and get in a close fight game with him, he has a chance to catch him and be successful, but I just don't see that happening.
You know, I think the other reason that I feel comfortable with George in this fight in terms of making a pick is that you see a lot of guys go in, say from a wrestling background, who have striking, and maybe they go out of their comfort zone. George, to me, seems like the kind of guy, when they make a game plan, they're going to make a smart game plan, and he's not going to try to get macho and go, oh, I'm going to strike with the striker. I might be wrong, but I would think he's going to stick to his style if it is getting it to the ground. He doesn't think there's something wrong with going to the ground and grinding it out.
No, I think he will definitely be smart about this. There's no ego with George. He's a very humble guy, and he's going to go in and do whatever he needs to do to put himself in the best position to win this fight.
All right, Mir and Lesnar, the talk before the fight's been awesome. First of all, I was out with Frank Mir about 10 days ago, and boy, he's a good talker. I mean, the confidence coming from that guy, you walk away and you're like, God, you know, this Brock Lesnar sucks. He is really one-dimensional. He's got nothing. You think he believes everything he's saying? That's the first part with Mir.
Well, it's hard to say what's going on in Frank's head or his heart. I mean, and that's the key. Yeah. Obviously, he's coming off a great performance with Nogueira. He's got a lot of confidence right now. I hope he's done the work to back that up. And you know, on the outside chance that he doesn't go out and make something happen early and catch Lesnar again, he's going to have to grind it out and be smart and persevere in a tough fight against a big guy. So that's the question.
How hard is it if his game plan is cardio and keep on the outside and box, how hard is it to stay away from Lesnar for 1 and 2 and 3 rounds without ever getting caught and ever being taken down?
Well, he's a great big guy. I just don't know if that's the right game plan, to try and stay outside of a guy that long and big and pick at him, because it doesn't take many of those, I can attest to right. Make your night short. So, I think I would think Mir would still try and find a way to get him on the ground and get him out of position, get him over aggressive as he has a tendency to do, and find a way to submit him again. But it'll be interesting. Obviously he's got a lot of confidence in his stand-up after taking Nogueira out that way. So, that'll be interesting to see how he approaches Lesnar. Lesnar's going to be better. He's gotten better each and every camp he's come through, and that's going to be no different this time. It's going to be harder for Frank to do what he did last time.
What do you think the things that Lesnar needs to get better at? I mean, obviously he's got a big right hand. He doesn't have the most proficient jab yet. What else? Obviously staying out of the danger situations, leaving your leg there like he did last time?
Yeah, I think getting more comfortable and fluid on his feet. Using the athletic ability that he has and being more damaging there, posing more of a threat in the stand-up position, not just kind of rushing and trying to smother or take a guy down, and realizing that he has a lot of horsepower, he has a lot of length. Those are things that are refined he can really use to his advantage when he gets on the ground, making his shots count. He has a tendency to get real excited and hammer fist and not. I mean, if he loaded up and just dropped one good hard shot there, I mean, that would be, with that body weight and that fist, it's going to be something. So making those shots count, that's going to keep him a little more conservative, in position, harder to move, and learning to trap and kind of pummel on the ground to create those opportunities to land those 1 or 2 or 3 big shots rather than 20 of those hammer fists.
So objectively, who are you picking in the fight? And also looking ahead, if you were to beat Nogueira, who's it better for you to see win this fight?
Well, I think both guys are amazing fighters and pose different problems, obviously. So I don't really care one way or the other with that regard. I think that I'm leaning towards Lesnar, beating Mir this time. It's always harder for the guy that won the first one to make adjustments and come back and do something different to win again. Right. It's easier for the guy that lost to rationalize and say, well, I screwed up here, I screwed up there, I can change that, I can change this, and go in and be more effective the second time.
I think your take's interesting, too, because I'm finding a lot of the storyline in this fight is, hey, Mir's the MMA guy. He's the one who's put the time in. He's, the science of the sport. He's the purist. This other guy's just doing it on raw athletic abilities. The wrestler is walking in. It's kind of disrespectful. You were in with Brock Lesnar. I'm sure you could tell people there's a little more to Brock than just raw power and no technique.
Yeah, well, there's definitely more to him than that. I think, his foundation is similar to mine in that collegiate wrestling background, which is a very technical sport, and he has that mindset. He's applied that mindset to MMA, and he's just going to continue to ratchet it up each and every time out, and we're going to see a better Brock Lesnar this time.
UFC 100 is here. It's the biggest event in UFC history. The tickets are impossible to get, but not totally. Hit either 3 tomatoes and a mozzarella this week. It's free to sign up, and you get extra entries if you take advantage of Bud Light and Tequila Cazadores specials at both 3 tomatoes and a mozzarella locations today through Friday. You can hit the North Las Vegas location at 945 West Craig or on the south side of town at 6485 South Rainbow. And you can join Steve Cofield this Friday night at the 945 West Craig Road location for your chance to win tickets to UFC 100.